Just a fair warning. This is a very long video I recorded. It's the longest ever. And the reason for that is this room can be understood as kind of buggy and tacky and wild and hard to discover things. I do solve it everything and I do get root, but it takes a while. If you watch all the video and redo the steps with me, you will learn more. So please consider doing that. And I apologize for the long video. It is just one of those rooms. Hello and welcome again to another room here on TryHackMe. We're going to tackle the room today called Sea Surfer, Ride the Wave. This is not a typical medium room, a fair warning for you. This should probably be a hard room. The reason for that is because I talked to the creator and a few others, and it just takes a lot of time to solve the room. The reason for the time usage you're gonna spend this room is because there are not really that many clues giving to you that usually is giving in a medium box. On a hard box, you're giving less clues, which is more like this. So there are many steps in this video, many steps to solve the room. So what I'm gonna do is really just to say as little as possible and just show you what I did. And I know there's a walkthrough now, it came yesterday. I'm not gonna use it. It's I don't know if the same solution that I have, but there are several different kind of ways to get in, and what I'm gonna show you is the way that I found. So let's go ahead and just start our nmap scan. Let's say it's curl nmap, and let's go ahead and start the Go Buster. It's on a big. And while this runs, let's go ahead and visit the site. And you see a typical Ubuntu default page, nothing to find here. What we're gonna do as well is just run it through burp. So I'm gonna type burp there and just intercept and just, take the traffic. Let's see, one more time. I think I need to restart burp because I did press burp. So burp. And no, and next, and start burp. Thank you. So intercept is on, and let's get it. Interesting. So let's do it one more time. There we go. So I don't know what happened there. Now we have different kind of request headers and stuff we can look at. Doesn't really look that interesting. So let's forward this. And one more time we're just checking out the request headers. And everything looks fine. So what we're gonna look at now is to go back and see that we didn't really get that much from the big file, and didn't really get that much from our nmap scan, which is why we were left kinda in the cold already from the start. So if you bang your head already now and think, what did I miss? What did I miss? Why didn't I see the things that I want to see? And what I'm missing this, so we're gonna start enumerating and scanning all those kind of things, which is the total wrong way. What you really need to verify right now is to understand that there's something called vhost or virtual hosts on the machine. So we go back to burp again and look at the very first request. You see that you have some request headers and response headers. In the response header right there, you notice that there is an X backend server called csurfer.thm. Basically means that the server is set up to listen to this particular URL here. So we basically need to add that to our host file on Linux server and then access the domain through, the domain. So this is what we're gonna do. So let's open up a terminal. Now I'm gonna say spoiler alert already now because I'm gonna show some things that I'm not supposed to show. But you see here that I already have some things in my host file. You see there is already some domains, but the IP address here is wrong. We need to alter it to the one we just have, so 10.10.27.12. And I'm just gonna say that at some point we're gonna find this URL2 in our manual enumeration. So if you're gonna add it there already, this is what you're also gonna do at some point. But let's just shut this down for now because we added the IP address to the host file. So now we should be able to go ahead and say cserver.html. The site's gonna be a bit slow. It's a WordPress site, and you're gonna see some surfboards and stuff like that on it. So while this loads, we can go back and just, whoops, and look here, and I have burp running, so I'm sorry for that. I'm going to turn it off, restart the page, and we should have it soon enough. So what you could try now is of course to go ahead and say like, so can we find something here on cserver.tryHackMe? I'm going to run this, and this is a particular, you could probably, but let's just run it. Okay, so this is gonna take a while. Yes. Let's just close down burp. Yeah, so I forgot to go sudo on the host file. Just did that pretty quick. So this is our WordPress site, and basically need to enumerate this site a lot and find some stuff. Now you don't need to do any scanning, anything in this site. You could do, but let me just see how far my scan is. That's the different ones. So let's go ahead right there. Now let's go ahead and start it again because I told you that I forgot to put the sudo in front of my nano when I edited the host file. Now we're gonna leave it run, and you might find something here, but I'm gonna use the enumeration dictionary called big.text because that is the one that is giving the best results within the amount of time you're probably going to spend this box. Now we can enumerate this site a lot and just go ahead and press, you know, stuff like go to contacts and look at this and go to blog and stuff like that. Now since this is a WordPress site, there's usually something called a sitemap on it, so we can access that by, I think it's sitemap.xml, and this is just something you either know or do not know, or something you scan for, whatever. You're gonna find it at some point, but you can find different URLs, so just open them all. Just let's do it quickly, and we can, you know, open more of them and just close the other one we opened, and then just basically look. There's nothing here, and then you look at this and you get this Brandon post talking about that you cannot access this internal whatever. It looks like a spelling error. It should be internal. And this is what we also saw before. It is internal.cserver.tmh and talks about something about creating receipts for customers. So maybe that is something to do with, you know, PDF files or something. Now I'm gonna be honest, you're not gonna find anything more right now, so I'm gonna close the other posts and just directly take this URL here and go ahead and paste it in my browser. And you're gonna try internal. It's not gonna work. It is internal, so we're gonna spell it correctly. And also we're gonna put HTTP in front before accessing it. So let's do that. It's gonna bring you to this page right here, and this page is gonna bring you a lot of pain and joy, I guess. This is the typical injection form, and what you're gonna do here is you're gonna do some different kind of injections that's gonna give you some results. Now there are different things you could do. You can try stuff like this, you know, take an iframe for example and put in, and then write whatever here and whatever there and the one, and create receipt. And what you're gonna get is basically it's gonna take a while. You're gonna get something like this, and you're gonna see that, so it renders my HTML. And if you're gonna try this as one of the things you're gonna do, you're gonna find out that this type of rendering is kind of interesting. But what really you're gonna do is you're gonna download this PDF file here. So I'm just gonna download it, and let's just call it C, and then put it into whatever folder you have. So thank you. Then open whatever terminal you have, go to downloads, and you can see you have C PDF right here. So what you're gonna do is run exif tool on it, and you will see that this is created by a tool called VKHTML-TU-PDF, whatever, 0.12.5. This looks like some early beta version. You're gonna take this here as your findings, because you're gonna verify that this is the software that created this thing here, and you probably know that since this is running on WordPress, it is PHP, and when the stuff is PHP, it's gonna be fun. So let's go ahead and write exploit after it. And you're gonna find something like this in the very first, and you're gonna read about this, and this is being confusing, so that's not the right page. You're gonna find something, I think it's this post here. This is gonna give you the lead. This is called an SSRF to local file read, which is server-side request forgery, or SSRF. That is why the content creator called it SSRF. Anyways, you're gonna try this very first XSS, and you probably I already did that with the iframe. What you notify then, if you read the text, this is not gonna work. The script is not gonna pass. So what he really tries in the end is basically creating a script in the end, and this is something you would probably have spend a lot of time finding out, because luckily this is something that already was found out for you, because it's a blog post about it, the exploit itself. So this is a location header server-side request forgery exploit. So what you're gonna do is basically say that you could do something like this. I did something like that. I just put in a raw path, because I knew what I wanted to get. What I wanted to get was really just, the password file and stuff, because I know in WordPress there's a file called wp-config.php, which is the file with the database credentials. I verified that I cannot read the password file and stuff like that. So what we're gonna do really now is to create this script here on our own server. Sorry for that. And on our own server, we have something like this so far at the moment. I have this saved on my own server. So let's go ahead and just close this down. As you can see that I'm positioned on my var.html, and inside this folder I have different test files, but the one called b.php is the one that I have the header location stored in, and this is gonna be the file we're gonna execute. What we could try and do is maybe I should show one thing. So we can take for example just to create a new line, and let me just do something like that, and let's put this there and comment this one out. PHP comments, there we go. And then instead of all this, we're gonna say so we can say var ACC. So instead of this, you can probably go etc password, and basically means that this particular file here, you're gonna point to that in the iframe, and this is where you're gonna have something like this. And the location header is gonna say so I host this from my own server. This is my TryHackMe IP address, and the location header is gonna tell the server, look at this instead. And this is because, and you probably need to know this, I need to read this, but this is because the code inside of this WAKHTML top PDF whatever, it's actually created this way. So if you go down a bit more, you can see that he's downloading this stuff, and at some point, he talks about the actual exploit and stuff, and this is gonna enable you to misuse this for what we're misusing it for. So I grab the iframe. I'm gonna delete the one and put the new one in, just to see that we do have the file b.php right here. So let's just create receipt, and this is the first time you're gonna get some success if you did this manually, and you will now see that, oh, I got the password. Yes. So let's see. It's taking its time to generate the PDF file. and it came back. It just took a lot of time. I have no idea why, but I'm just gonna show that you can get the password file out. You're gonna use that for anything. You can, you know, make the size big if it is, you know, iframe, doesn't really matter. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go back to this file we have here, and you're gonna exploit it the same way that you talked about in the exploit description. And it's gonna be like you're gonna request another file locally and get it outputted on the page here. So what we're gonna get out is basically go ahead and say goodbye to this one and hello to this one. And this is the one that's gonna give us the wp config passwords. Mind the pass var .wordpress, and this is something that many people probably haven't figured out yet. Is that the WordPress is a normal folder in a standard installation is going to be created when you install WordPress. So what we're going to do now is just save the file and basically go back and do the exact same thing. So let's take this file one more time and create receipt. Almost forgot about that. We kind of started we did start the GoBuster scan, and it's just running for a long time. Holy moly! Now this is really wow. Let's just try to see if we can find what we're actually looking for in this mess here. I think we have it right here. What you were looking for is the one called adminer. So basically you can take this URL here and just copy paste it and close this window down and just open this, and it's gonna bring us to a MySQL login. Now what you're gonna get is the password and the stuff. Now I should have created the iframe just a bit higher, so instead of having the height of 500, you're gonna probably take it to, you know, just take it to 1,000 to be sure, and then you can see the password and stuff like that. Now I'm not gonna do that because it takes a lot of time for this to load, it seems. So what I already did is I prepared myself. This is the thing that you're gonna need, and you will find that there is something called a WordPress user that you can log in here on the username, and the password and the database is called WordPress. Now who would have thought that? Now you get access to the WordPress database through some, you know, backend or something that's just created for you to, just like PHPMyAdmin, any you know, database client. And what you see here is basically the WordPress database. You can go ahead and access the VP user, and then go up and say select data. And you have two choices now. Either you can spend your time cracking this here, or you can just change it. Now the password for Kyle is not really something you're going to use for anything else logging into the WordPress site, so I suggest you replace it. And to replace it, there's a web page you can use to create a new password for WordPress. And the site is called WordPress Hash Generator. I just typed the password 13456. You're going to get this hash here, so you're going to copy paste this. Go ahead and press edit and just replace it and save. Now we're going to go back to the actual website, which is this one here, and just go to WP admin, then go to Kyle 123456, log in, and yes, now you're in. Obviously this is also going to take some time to log in today, so let's see what happens. And we're in. Now, using WordPress, we know that there is something called appearances and theme file editor. It's going to be the quickest route. You can click around, do stuff, whatever you're going to do, and edit the page. Good luck with that. There's something called theme file editor. This is PHP. Pick up the typical file called wow. So we have an error on the side. Can we do this? No. Yes, I'm really sure that we logged in. Wow. An error. So I just refresh the browser a few times to know what happened. Basically, this is what I just did, and then you get to go to the 404 PHP site. But what you could basically do is go ahead and say C server 404, and I'm gonna, still remember to do HTTP in the front. So that's a thing. And you're gonna get this standard page here. Now you have PHP, and you can, where was it? There we go. You can go ahead and put in a reverse shell. Let's go ahead to Pentest Monkey and do PHP reverse shell. That's gonna be your way in. This is gonna give you the initial foothold, and basically we're just gonna take all this here and copy paste it. Go directly back here, and just in the top, just press enter, put it in, scroll all the way up and say replace the typical stuff you replace. Port 4444, why not? And then 10.11.02.01, which is my TryHackMe IP. I'm gonna update the file. Successfully updated. I'm gonna go to create a new listener. Netcat 4444 is gonna listen. I'm gonna go back to this, press update, and it hangs. And now we have our first initial shell. We are ... data, and you're in. All right, so we're not cleaning everything. Let's go ahead and upgrade the shell just a tad. So let's do my nodes, long live this, and there we go. And also let's just give a basic terminal so we can clear the screen. All right, so this is what we're gonna get the very first time we create our shell. And you can roam around and stuff, and you're probably gonna say like, so what do you have in home? Well, you have the Kyle folder. Can you see anything in Kyle? And no, you cannot. So that's not gonna be your way in. You are already located in the root. So we're gonna go ahead and say var and go into ... And then there's different folders here called internal and WordPress. In the WordPress folder, you're gonna find all the typical WordPress files. That's gonna be a thing. So it's going to internal. And here you're gonna find stuff like, let me clear the screen. So here you're gonna find stuff like, invoices and maintenance, stuff like that. And inside maintenance, that's probably gonna spark your eye. You're gonna find a file called backup.sh. This is gonna be your way in to get Kyle. And what you see here is a typical exploit with a tar. So the tar exploit is basically the star is going to take anything and treat it as options or files or whatever. And this is not a bug, this is a feature to tar, so be careful when you use it. That's at least what they tell you at the tar, okay? The tar guys. So what you're going to do is you're going to misuse this tar exploit. And there are different, write-ups to how to misuse a tar exploit. You can go ahead and say tar exploit in Google, I guess, and go to GTFO bins and see the different ways you can try. And if you try this here, I'm pretty fairly sure none of this is really gonna work. It looks like that there's some of it we're gonna use, like some of these things here, but I don't know exactly. I just have it. I think maybe on hacks tricks that should be a bit more sufficient. So let's see. Yeah, they basically say that you need to execute these commands here and create these files, and basically you can with tar you can say that because of the star, it's gonna treat this as command lines and extras for the execution of tar, and this is gonna execute this as the first one's checkpoint, so that's prioritized as number one, and the action is gonna be shell the exe file with sh that's shell sh. So we're gonna create this file called shell first, and then basically well, yeah, we're gonna execute this. But before we do this, let's go ahead and go back to this page. What you're gonna see here is the branded complaint about losing one receipt, which we had 5 minutes downtime. So run this every minute now. Now it sounds like a cron job, and it is a cron job. So this is being run every 1 minute. So what you're going to do now is basically go ahead and say it's going to be run inside of this. So it's going to cd into invoices, and then this command is going to be run. So let's go ahead and go one back. What happened to our shell? It's just slow. Okay, yeah, that's the way it is. Let's go to invoices and let's clear, and this is gonna be our place. So we're gonna create these magical lines. I've prepared myself already to save some time for you as well. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can find the right thing here in all my mess. So we're gonna create this very first one here. So we're gonna create the file where we're gonna tell that this is an option. You're gonna execute the shell, and we're gonna do this here to say that this is the very first one. It's gonna execute. So if we do an ls all, we can see this is the actual files, and they're gonna treat this as options because tar is stupid. So what you really need now is to create the shell file, and I've created one here. And the one we're gonna do is just basically any shell you can find, you know, on Pentest Monkey that can do some reverse stuff for you. This is one that worked for me, and I'm gonna do import 4444. Maybe I cannot go back. Maybe because we're already listening on port 4444 through this very stupid shell, you might need to exit this before you go further. So let me just go this and see that we have our shell.sh and looks fine. So let's go out and do letcat listener, and let's stop this here. At some point within a minute we're gonna get a connection here, and let's wait for this. Shell is back, and what we are now, ID, we are now Kyle. This is the way we're gonna be Kyle, because in the script before, I'm gonna just scroll up a bit. This it's not in my window. Anyways, the script we execute, the cron job is created by Kyle, and Kyle is the user that's going to execute our shell, and that shell is going to be opened for us as we are listening. So this is just a file he's executing, well, as a cron job with his privileges and rights, which is why we're going to get a new shell. Let's go ahead and just upgrade this a bit. So and please pay attention that we have no passwords or anything at all. We have no idea what's going on. So if you fuck up, you need to go back and get shells again. So now we have a possibility to clear, and we are Kyle. Who am I? Now what we're gonna do now is go ahead and run linpiece and whoa, colors. I cannot see it. It says invoices. So we're not really gonna do anything more here. What you're gonna do is go into I think, let me just see, can we actually, let's just go to temp, because this is a good place to be. And now we're gonna run linpiece. So what we're gonna do is basically go back to our machine here. I think this is an okay place. Let me just see one more time. Linpiece, did I put it there? No, it's right here, isn't it? So linpiece sh, that is true. So let's go ahead and run Python, do a web server, and on this web server let's wget http --10 11.0.2.1 to 5000, thank you, and then linpiece.sh. We're gonna download this file here and give it executional rights, just like that, and then go ahead and run linpiece.sh. Now I'm not gonna lie that linpiece is gonna give you the answer, and you probably will need to do a hell of a lot of research to find out what this is, because you're gonna look at this because you're probably used to medium boxes being a bit more forgiving, but it is actually in the red you're gonna look for it. So I'm gonna make this easy and just let this run for a bit. Alright, so it started running, and you're gonna look at this and say like, yeah, it looks alright, you know, it's just the typical things. And I just want to say that this can take quite a while, and yeah. And if you see something like this, it's okay, don't worry, you know, you're gonna get the results you need. And let me just go through some of the things now. Already now you should take note of this. This is a Ubuntu version. Always take note of the versions if you can do that. And you can use this for later to further get root. So let me just go back and say, this is not the thing, this is not sudo. It could be because there's actually an exploit in this version here. There is actually. But it's not going to be the one, it's not going to work. And what you're gonna see at some point is you need to fall upon this here. I know it's not gonna, it will not, you know, it's not gonna spark anything, your eye, or you know, it is basically running a sudo command all the time as Kyle, and it is something in root folder, and we can use this. It's called token misuse or token exploit, sudo token exploit. This is gonna be the exploit we need to exploit, and the exploit needs to exploit. So I'm not gonna spend a lot of time talking about all the things linpiece also will give us, because it's gonna be a waste of time. What I'm gonna do now is, whoa, did we just lose our shell? Let's get it back then. Whoa. Holy moly. So what we're gonna do now is basically go ahead and type hextricks and then sudo token, something like that. And at some point we're gonna find something in this. So let's do token, I think. Token. Yeah, reusing sudo tokens. Let's see if we got our shell back. We do. And it's gonna run always, so you can always just, you know, the box is running a little weird today. I must say that is something. So, and the reason that I pressed Control C, you know, I should really do something about this, but nah, I'm not really gonna do that. So now we have a shell back, and we're gonna back here and read about this. Now this is gonna be a very long journey for you guys, so I'm gonna make this easy. This is an exploit where you already have a shell user running. So it's a scenario where you have a shell as a user with super privilege, but you don't know the password of the user. That is true. We have Kyle. You can wait for him to execute some commands using sudo, then you can access the token of the session where sudo was used, and blah blah blah. This is gonna, so there are some requirements. We need the sample user, we do have Kyle, and someone who used sudo in the last 15 minutes, and that is something we can say yes to because of the process. Then we need to have this ptrace to be 0, and we can just basically running and say, yeah, it is 0, so all is good. And we need GDB. And then you're gonna go to the box and say which GDB, and you're gonna be like, oh, never do. So you need to download GDB. Now, the good thing is that we have our web server, and the web server is just into downloads. I have the GDB file here, and this is where I need to download the correct one from the correct website, which is gonna be, let me just find it right here. This is gonna be the website you're gonna find it on. Go to search on Google and basically gonna find this step file here. Make sure that you search for the correct Ubuntu version. Ubuntu 20.04, and make sure that it's that file you download. And just down here on the screen a bit, you're gonna find the download and a path. You're gonna wget it to your own machine, and basically what you're gonna do is download it to the machine we compromised. So Python 5000. I'm gonna copy paste this name because no need to. So, and we in invoices, no need to do that. So let's just go. Let's create a folder called I don't know, doesn't really matter. Wget http and 10 11 11 0 201 colon 5000, and the file name, and we're going to download this file to this server. Now you will verify that you cannot install it on your own on this machine, so you need to unpack it yourself and do all the interesting necessary steps. The way you unpack a deb file is ar-x and what in the name, ar-x, and then let's do this file, and then you're gonna get the data tar and the control tar and tar xf or xvf. So xvf, and you're gonna take the control one and you're gonna say tar xvf, and you're gonna take the data one. And that's gonna give you some folders here called user and etc, and inside user there's a bin folder, and inside of that you have the binaries for GDB, and now you're good to go, and the prerequisites are met for this token usage thing. Now there's a link here you can click on, just requirement, you can escalate privileges. So let's go and click this link, and you will find these kind of things here, extra tools. You're also gonna find whatever thing here, but you need this, it's not gonna work. You're gonna need the script here called exploit.sh. Down below there's a description to how to exploit it, and let's get back to this just in a few tad moments. Now that we have this installed here, we basically need to verify the path of, well, where the GDP binary is. So this is going to be the path. Let's copy paste it and just, you know, put it inside, you know, this new one here, and just call it GDB. This is where GDB is installed on our compromised machine, and that's really gonna be it. So let's go back just a tad. So this is where we're gonna be. So what you're gonna do now is, oh, this is really bugging my ass with this light colors. So what you're gonna do now is basically say we need to exploit this, and in order to do that, it says how to exploit a vulnerable system, sudo whatever. So basically you're gonna write something crazy as sudo, whoops, like sudo whatever, anything, and then it's gonna say password for Kyle, and you're gonna say nah. Oh, press Control C. I should not do that. What we could do in order to make this a bit more easy is let me show something you need to do. This is something I kind of forgot, so let me just get the shell back. What you're gonna do now is let me just show this. It's gonna be a live stereo for you, so I guess this is probably gonna be a good idea. So we can go inside home and Kyle, and inside of this folder, well, of course you can get the user flag, I forgot about that. Inside this folder you're gonna see an SSH folder, so let's go to SSH, and you got this authorized key. So what you basically need to do is go to your own system, and I think I already created this from old Kyle ISA, but you basically need to go SSH key gain and then create your own SSH key. But I'm gonna cat out Kyle RSA.pub, and take this here, and only this what I'm not from this part here, and you're going to copy paste all this and basically say echo the mamma mia. And now it's gonna go down again. So let's get a new shell. And while you wait for the shell, please verify that your copy paste is correct. And this is extremely excruciating. Let's say, here we go. There we go. So let's go ahead and just, I don't know if we can do that without Python, but you know, I'm gonna do it anyways because I am that kind of guy. So we are here, so let's go /home/Kyle ls cd-ssh, so authorized key, so echo this into add-on to authorized keys, and that's it really. So now we should be able to do SSH. Let me see if I'm at the right place. I am SSH. I then do, what is it, Kyle? What is it now? It's SSH-I Kyle RSA, and then Kyle at, and you could probably use the where was the IP again? There we go. 10.207.12, and you got no password, and basically that's gonna be your lifesaver because now we have real sharing compressed control C and everything. So that's gonna be your lifesaver. So let's clear and go back to var and let's go back to HTML, and then we have our index file. And let's go back to internal, and then we have my here. So and let me just do this. So basically now we have our own shell, and we just, you know, pushed our own public key, SSH public key, directly into authorized keys in the folder of Kyle, and then with no password we create it that way, so we can just connect directly to the box and get a real shell. That was really, really nice. So we need to execute this now, and in order to do that, you need to do the things here. You need to do the sudo thing, but you don't need to download the activate token. I think you need to do that at least, but I just did it anyways. So on my machine, let me just see, did I have it right there? So let's copy paste it and do a wget HTTP, and then 10.11.021-5000, and then do activate token, and this is the token we're gonna need. So the exploit itself is gonna be inside of this here, and it's gonna you know, it's gonna do something with the sudo direct stuff to dev null, whatever output. It's gonna copy the token to the temp folder, and then add executable rights to this token, and then we're gonna do this line here, which is basically gonna try and reuse the token, and then with GDP we're gonna use the process which is running the elevated sudo privilege. So let's go ahead and just find the process itself by running this command here and go back to our shell. That's not the shell. This is the old one. Let's just close it down. No reason to have this running anymore. And then that's no. It's gonna be this one here. So run this command here, and we're gonna see that the command we need to, oh, it's in the bottom, sorry. The command we need to, where was it again? Sudo whatever. Here it is what called 1125. So the process ID of the PID is called 1125 because this is the command we're gonna look for. And I know this is a bit advanced, but it is the way it is. It's a process running, and this process is what we're gonna misuse. Let's go back. 1125. Was I correctly true about this? 1125. Let's go back here. So what we're gonna do in order to execute this, let's take the 2 lines. No, basically let's just take all of this. Go back and nano into the file called e.sh. That's gonna be our exploit. Now I don't like to do all this, for loop stuff. So let's just remove it. And what you're really gonna do here is then put in, instead of the pit, say 1125, because that is the process ID we're gonna use. This should be good to go, and we just did a sudo whatever. It should work. We have the token right there, and let me see, GDP is something we need to alter, so we've almost forgot about it. And this is not the path to it. The path we saved just before. And it's gonna be saved right here. So let's take this and go down to the file and say whoopsie. There we go. That's very important. And go out again and just check if everything is fine. It's fine. And what we're gonna do now is basically go back and follow the steps in the how to exploit. Now I'm gonna say this already now. You might need to restart the box in order to get this so far, because and I'm not sure I'm gonna do this if it doesn't work, because I did it already, and this is just one of the steps is gonna be the most excruciating steps in the whole world if it doesn't work. It's not because it doesn't work, it's because sometimes the boxes need to be restarted. So let's go ahead and if that is the case, you just need to restart all and then log back in and get Kyle and everything, and you know all the steps. So it should be a great exercise for you. So we're gonna do, we did the sudo whatever things, but let's just do it again. Then Control C and then execute the, is it here? It's being, yes, so it's right here. So let's chain mod .x e.sh. Almost forgot about this. Ch mod. Let's execute this. And let's do sudo -i. And in this particular case, it didn't really go directly in. So let's see if it did something wrong. And we see that it looks okay. Well, we could remove the output directly, so we don't see the output, and just one more time, just see what happens when you run it. And it does save, and you should be able to do that. So it didn't work exactly the way you probably thought it would work. So let's go ahead and just, in the temp folder, I'm going to show some things. You're going to find this token there, and you need to remove that in the temp folder. Oops. And so you can verify it's removed. It is removed now. And this is where you're probably gonna have to, either reload the box, redo the box. Let me just see if it did something wrong. Another way we can also just verify whether it works or not is just to, go to the nano e.sh and directly just take this, what you could do is just basically go inside the actual folder, because that is the exploit. So you can just, try and dumb it down a bit, and you just execute this. And it kind of wants to do that. We need to say it's right there, and basically you just go ahead and write quit, because we're not really gonna do much inside of here. Well, we are gonna do something. I forgot about this, so we're gonna do inside of the exploit file, and we're gonna call this. Let me just see. All this is gonna be called inside of it, so we can put this there. And I think that's gonna be it, really. And then yes, and then you should be able to do bin bash and say, and then say. But again, you're still Kyle. I think maybe I copy pasted something wrong. Yeah, I think I did that. So let's just one more time go into the GDB one that I, not that, this one here. So let's take this and say 1125. And what we're gonna need is the command. You're gonna make all this. Where can I put this window? You have to make all this a little more callable in a way. So we take this here and just paste in this, for example, here. And let's see, it's gonna, what is this? Let's just take it one more time. You could try something in the area of this, you know, just redo the command, and it doesn't really look too well in my eyes. So let's just do, and then do bin bash dash p, and you're still Kyle. So that is another way. I'm just trying to find some ways for you to directly try it. What you could also try is basically just say you copy paste all of this here, and then you do sudo hello. That is the way you paste this in here. You put 1125 and you execute the GDB library from this particular pass, and you are still, oops, Kyle. And this is because that you basically need to redo the box in this particular example. So let me just think pretty fast. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna redo the box with you guys. So it's gonna be. I'm gonna do this now. I'm gonna type exits, quit, get me. I cannot. There we go. It hurts to do this. So I'm gonna terminate machine, and I know this is gonna be extremely difficult because this is just the way this exploit works. I struggled with this box, I think, for 5 hours. That's also the reason that this video is getting this long. So I'm really sorry for that. But let me just pause the video and get back when it's up. Remember that we're gonna go straight for the box. We know all the things. Copy paste the IP address. Go to sudo nano etc hosts, and what we really need is no. I know what this happens sometimes. The most excruciating small error. So let's take this 10 162 24 62 24. Let's close this down. What I'm gonna do now is basically go ahead and visit the different pages we're in. Did we already have the password and everything? Let's just directly go directly in, and we already have the hash from earlier. So let's go take this. And now we're gonna see how fast it is now when we actually have it. So just and then go to the. Let's go to the. Where was it again? There we go. This page here. and it's gonna tell Kyle 1 2 3 4 5 6. Let's log in. No, and save. It's gonna take a while, and we are back in. Understand. Let's go ahead and take our, well, we save it, PHP reverse shell pentest monkey. There we go, and take the reverse shell. There we go, and then go back here on the top, paste it in, go a little bit up and down, and find the 4444, and then let's go ahead and say 10, 11, 0, 201, that's gonna be it. And we're gonna go back here on the 44 page. I'm gonna take, let's read the matter now. No, NC, there we go. Upgrade, we have a shell. Then go back one more time. I'm not going fast right now because we're redoing the same steps we just did. Let's just get a better shell. And now we're gonna go ahead and survive there and go into internal, into invoices, and this is gonna be where we're gonna create all the things. So let's go to the text document. So I'm gonna put it right here and there. And this is the tie exploit. So let's go ahead and do first one, second one, and the shell script. And I think that's gonna be it. Let's go ahead and listen again. And now we are Kyle. They were very fast this time. And let's just upgrade the shell just a tad and go into home Kyle, into SSH, and then let's do echo and get the, not that one, let's get the, where was it again, cat Kyle RSA, no, cat Kyle RSA dot pop. Let's take all this like this and copy paste it, and let's go back directly to the one here, paste it in and say to this file here, let's exit whatever, and then do that. And oh, it's not the same IP. Let's close this down for a bit and get the IP pretty fast. Now it's on this page, and it's 10.10, 162, 24. Yes, and we're back. This time we're gonna be a bit more specific. So let's do a wget. Let's get all the things we need. So let's put this up to downloads, and then let's do Python web server. Let's get the Ubuntu files at wget http, and you will see all the different steps now is actually very well combined. ARX and XVF control data, and now I go directly into user bin, and you're gonna do wget http 10 11 0 201 5000, and you need the authorized keys, which is in activate token. There we go. That is safe there as well. So now I think we have more or less everything we need. we need to do into nano e.sh, and then take this script right here, paste it in. No. Paste it in. There we go. And this time let's remove this file, this there and there, and we need to in front of this say directly where it is. And we could try and just use it as it is, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go directly and say what is the process ID for this sudo whatever thing. It is 1124. So let's go ahead and say, let's just remove all this and say 1124 and save it and clear. I think, let's see, the video doing everything we need to do. Let me just stop this now because we already have a better shell. So now we're gonna do this again. We're gonna do sudo whatever. It says press whatever. So sudo whatever. It could be anything basically, right? And then press. There we go. And then we're gonna do sh dot that. It will run. Inject something. It looks a lot more promising already. Let's do sudo -i, and in this particular case it still doesn't work. So yeah, so what we could do now is just say, what if we just did this the manual way? So we could do, so we did like sudo, well, it's already there, I guess, so let's just copy paste the things. This one, and then all this is gonna be 1124, and then it's gonna be executed right there. Sudo -i, and this is an inferior thing. It just doesn't work as well as intended. Not really sure if I did something wrong or anything, but I'm gonna stop the video here and say this is the exploit. This is the way it's gonna work. Read the write-up if you wish to do that. It is the best thing done today. I just want to say that I just ran it one more time just in anger. I did nothing, you know, different. I got root now. I'm really sorry I couldn't show it on screen. Maybe I wanna oh, this is hurting a lot. Let me just exit and clear the screen, and whatever was sudo whatever and what? Sudo whatever. It seems we broke it, so just exit. Let's connect again to Kyle and clear the screen and do cd user cd bin, and then let's do sudo. Okay, remove the temp activated token. We need to do that. And then we're gonna need to do the sudo whatever and break out, and then we're basically gonna do, I just ran it, to be honest. Let's just run it. And it's gonna take a while, and maybe, you know, sudo -i, and then we root. Now it worked. I have no idea why it didn't work before, but this is just a very busty room, and this is just me showing, and I hope you saw the struggle. I really tried to make it short, but it just got like 1 hour. It's like, holy moly. So educational wise, watch the video. I hope you learned something. I apologize for the long video one more time. If you like the video, like the content, what I do, please consider subscribing. I'm gonna see you again online, learn some more stuff, and have a really nice day.